second. I'm breaking this down into bits and pieces mainly because I'm sitting here sipping through the memories. I mean, because like there are so many, and especially within this decade. All right. The time is June of 1970. Dad is already planned another move to Lufkin. Well, outside of Lufkin, a place called Hudson. He found us a house. Give me a second here. Anyway, I don't remember too much about us moving there, but I do remember. Oh, I forgot to mention my baby sister being born. Alright, let's back up a little bit. Alright, so it's 1969, my baby sister's born, and I never will forget that because I had to change her diapers. It was like, I had to change her diapers, and oh, let me tell you something. I never will forget. I didn't have nose hairs then, but if I did, she would have burnt them out. Cause like, whoa. Sorry, baby sis, but hey, I'm just being real. Anyway, I was washing dishes. I never will forget one time during that time period, right before we left that. I was washing dishes. I'd come home from school and I didn't feel like washing dishes. And so I laid down in the bathroom with sleep. Told Mom I had to go to the bathroom with sleep. After a while, she came knocking on the door. You need to get up here and do these dishes. You ain't in there using the bathroom, you're in there sleeping. But I never will forget one of the things that she told me whenever we moved to Lufkin is that I wouldn't have to wash dishes again. I'm like, yeah, because I'm like about, at this time, when my sister, baby sister, I was 7. I was like, cool. So I was like, man, I was ready to move Lufkin. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna have to wash dishes anymore. You know. Oh, your baby sister, you don't have to wash them. Anyway, we moved to Lufkin. I meet this guy that lived next door. We became friends. This is during the summer. Because I think we might have moved there like about late June, early July. You know, so, you know, I'm moving to the neighborhood, I'm making friends, and Anyway, Mom's like, well, you gotta wash dishes until school starts. I'm like, okay. Because just, I got the dishwashing assignment at a very early age. When like I was 5 years old, 4 years old in Palestine, I used to watch Mom wash dishes, And one day, for a while, I begged her, please let me wash dishes. I even got up there in a chair and washed the dishes. And, I never will forget that, because Mom was like, you do it right the first time, or you're going to have to come back and do it again. And it's like, I never will forget it. After the first 2 weeks, when she started letting me wash dishes at a young age, I'd wash them and she'd come back behind me and she'd see what I was doing, And if she found one dirty dish, she would make me take all those dishes, didn't matter how many of them were clean, and make me wash them all over again. So like at a very early age, I was, I had that, do the job right the first time so you don't have to come back and do it again and still with me. But anyway, where's that at? Nacogdoches, okay. Anyway, we moved to Nacogdoches. I started second grade there. Actually, I finished first grade, started second grade there. In between the year that, the second half of my first grade is when baby sis was born. She's born, I finished school, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we moved to Hudson. And pardon my French, I'm happy as fly back shit to move that house because I'm not gonna have to wash dishes anymore. But one thing I didn't know about, come later. Anyway, so we moved to Hudson. Mom's making, after I started school, Mom's making my older baby sis do the dishes. And this goes on for probably about the first 6 weeks of school. And I come home one day, because we always did the dishes when we came home from school. We always had chores to do around the house. So I came home one day, and Mom, without saying a word, points at the kitchen. And I'm like, no. And so she takes me over there to where the dishwasher is, because we didn't have a dishwasher. Well, we did, but we had manual dishwashers. Anyway, Mom was like, I always bought Tupperware. And so she tells me, pick up one of these Tupperware glasses, which is plastic, of course. And so I picked it up. And that sucker slid right. I couldn't even hold on to it. There was so much grease on it. And she goes, you need to start doing the dishes again. I'm like, oh my God. And that was the first time that I got a taste of, if you do a job good, you're going to be wanting to do it. And I did. I washed dishes. And after we moved to Hudson, Dad made me mow the lawn as well. So that's when I started having to mow the lawn. And I was doing dishes, and I probably did those all the way up until I was 16 and started work. But anyway, we moved to Hudson. You know, I start third grade there and break my arm falling off the slide. And I made a few friends. While I was in third grade, who were in my class, one guy in particular, which I'll call Fat Boy, who learned how to play a guitar. And later on, while we were in our teens, we wrote a bunch of songs together. A lot. I think my favorite one probably would be one that we called The Heist, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's see. Everything was okay. I go through third grade, go through fourth grade, and while I'm in fourth grade, Mom decided she wanted to work. So we had a few babysitters, and this went on until I got to the fifth grade. And Mom was still working, and by this time we'd probably gone through 3 babysitters. And I think Mom was, while Dad particularly was, at that time I was old enough that, I was 11. And so they asked me, hey Gary, you want to babysit the kids while we're off at work, especially during the summer? Because mostly it's during the summer. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, what's that? Maybe feel like an adult. I'm like 11 years old. And so we got that all, Mom and Dad all sat down with all of us, and we all had a Brady Bunch get together, and Mom and Dad told my siblings that, okay, they're gonna be, I'm gonna be watching them, because we had issues with a lot of babysitters, and Mom and Dad asked me, I'm like, oh man, I'd rather it be us, and the thing is, whenever we lived in Palestine, after I learned how to wash dishes, I learned how to cook. So Mom, because Mom showed me. But anyway, so I had to basically, I'm not trying to make it sound bad, but we all had chores to do, so I had to make sure that all my siblings had their chores. I had to clean the kitchen, I had to clean the living room, and I had to mow occasionally. But we all had a good time. I remember older sis and my brother couldn't get along. They used to call each other names one of them would run to one room and slap the other, and then take off running until the other one caught up with him in another room in the house and slap him and call him some sort of derogatory statement. I think back then for us it was punk. I mean, like, yeah, if any of us call each other a punk, oh, them were fighting words, you know. Oh, I'm gonna hit you, and I'm gonna, yeah. And it was funny. It was kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen dogs playing, but it's like, you know, like one dog will be chasing the other dog and bite on his tail and then take off running, and then that dog will chase him and bite on his tail, turn around and take off running. It's just back and forth, and I was like, that would drive me crazy, but now when I think about it, it's real funny. So let's see. There are like so many memories to sift through. I'm just Alright, so roughly about this time, from 3rd grade on, I started playing baseball. Me and my dad had been playing catch for the longest and stuff. And of course, when we moved to Hudson, he had joined the church in Hudson. And we were playing softball in the church. And so I get, what was it? I can't remember what it was called. Foreign Boys League. Way back then, it was called Foreign Boys, and that was kids who were like from 6 years old all the way up until 9, I believe, and that's when we started Little League. Anyway, so I started playing baseball. Mom and Dad and my brother and sisters would come out and watch me play. And that was an every summer thing. We had a brick barbecue grill during this time period in the backyard that I used to take, and I would practice my pitching, and I would use the barbecue grill as a pitch back until Dad finally bought me one. And I'm not sure if anybody knows what pitch back is, but it's basically a tight net with a strike zone on it, which stands about as tall as a person, and a pitcher uses it to practice, you know, so he doesn't need a catcher, because when you pitch it, the ball will bounce back toward you, and you use that to work on accuracy and things like that. But I did. It took me about a year and about 7 baseballs, because that brick barbecue grill was hard on baseballs. But it took me a year and 7 baseballs before Dad finally bought me a pitch back. And in the winter, when baseball season was over with, you know, we'd go outside with football, and he would be the quarterback, and I'd run post batters. And a lot of times during this time period, we had a group of friends that would go to a certain park, and we'd go to Winston Park in Lufkin and play football. We'd play baseball. my brother and a lot of people that I went to church with. Speaking of people that we went to church with, I think one of my fondest memories is of one of my dad's friends who owned a gospel bookstore in Lufkin later on. But we had gone, one time we went from Lufkin to Waxahachie. When he first started that bookstore, and we had like all the Cokes we could drink. He had, my dad's friend had given us all the Cokes that we could drink. On the way up there and back, we had to stop like about every 5 minutes. It seemed like to go use the bathroom. I wish to say by the time, you know, because from Lufkin to go to Waxahachie, you have to go to Palestine. You can take either 294 and after you can take 84 when you get to Rush to Palestine, which is the quickest way. And then pick up 287 and go to Waxahachie. But anyway, it was like we stopped like I don't know how many times. We were drinking Santa. I think we first started out. We left Lufkin. We went to Central, Wells, Alto. Yeah, we hit Alto and got on to 94 and probably drove about 5 miles from Alto whenever we had to go. I mean, me and my brother, we were like sitting there in the back drinking the Cokes like no tomorrow. And Dad was the kind of guy that, you know, if we go anywhere, you do your business in the bathroom before we leave, because we ain't stopping. But the only thing about this particular adventure is Dad stopped too, man. It was like the running joke all the way up there. Sitting here thinking, sorry for the silence. I'm trying to, feels like there's so much. Now I remember, yeah, I'll talk about the Astral World vacation we had one time. We have a picture of this. Now here's one thing you gotta remember about 1960s, or 1950s guys, or my dad in particular. Yeah, you always, you know, when you wake, you sleep in your underwear, and I'm not talking about a t-shirt and your briefs. You sleep in just your briefs, no shirt or anything. And so like it wasn't nothing for any of us to wake up early in the morning and Dad would be walking around in his underwear. You know, that was like, okay. But we have a picture of all of us in a hotel room when we went to Astro World the first time, with me and my brother and my dad and my two sisters that Mom took while Dad was making us bologna sandwiches for breakfast. Because that was for breakfast. That was his go-to: a bologna sandwich with mayonnaise. We also have a picture of him sitting out by the pool at the hotel, sporting a pair of 1970s Ray-Bans. It was pretty cool. One thing I forgot to mention while we lived in Houston is that I got to watch the Astrodome being built. I remember seeing it when it was nothing but a skeleton. But I digress. So we had that, I think it was roughly 1972. It was the first time we went to Astro World. And I think the next year, in 73, we went to Six Flags. Yeah. Yeah, we went to Six Flags. Sorry, sifting through memories. Okay, yeah. The Astro World thing, the Six Flags thing. We also went and visited a few of Mom's side of the family. My grandfather and my grandmother. And those were some good times. And after we took the trip, man, we visited my mom's brother. Him and his family moved down. This was roughly 1975, 1976. I mean, I never will forget it because that's when the Captain and Tennille song came out. Well, we'll keep it together. I mean, oh my God, that was like the radio stations wore that out. But me and my dad and my uncle, I'm going to call him Uncle Ron, we used to have this bit that we got from a commercial, which was, I'm not sure if they still make these, but it was a breath mint called Surge. And the commercial always started out where two people were waiting on somebody, and one person asked the other person, says, "Man, are they here yet?" And the other person goes, "No, but they'll be here soon." And the other person goes, "Well, quick, give me shirts," you know. And the other person asked him why, and she goes, "Well, I just want to make sure that my." The other person goes, "Why? just want to make sure my breath is fresh, you know. And that was basically the whole gist of the commercial. And we would always, a lot of times, my mother and my uncle's wife would go, you know, we would always go do things together. And a lot of times we'd have to wait on my mother, me and my uncle and my dad being in separate cars. And we would always, you know, we would always do the church commercials. And I think one of the fondest memories that I have about that time is my uncle was cool. He was one of my favorite uncles ever. And so Uncle Ron, and I'll see you here in about 7 or 8 months. I'll come up here and visit you. So, 1976. I'm 14 years old. And KC and the Sunshine Band is rocking. Fleetwood Mac is doing awesome. If I remember correctly, Boston just came out with their first album. And I'm 1 year away from getting my license. I run through the school year. I was in 10th grade. I was jealous of all my friends, like a certain fat boy who were a year older than me and already had their license. So I go through the school year. I'm still babysitting kids, so mom and dad both working. And oh wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 15 in the 10th grade. Because I was 17 when I graduated. Alright. So here I am, 15, the summer of between 10th grade and 11th grade. And I'm still babysitting because I'm also babysitting at night. At this point, Dad has let me drive around enough to get a bit of experience. And they would go bowling on Tuesday night and leave me there to watch the family. We had 2 cars. And there was also a friend of theirs that they knew, a guy who was a police officer for Lufkin, who was a bowling partner with them. And sometimes they would bring their kids over, and while they were bowling, and I would watch them as well. Well, there was like Dad would always let me, you know, even though I didn't have a license then, but he knew that, you know, he trusted my driving, so he'd let me drive about a quarter of a mile to a convenience store and get bread or whatever, you know, Mom needed when she was cooking supper or whatever. So I'd done this a lot, and I knew where the keys were. And I'd never really done anything crazy before this. So whenever they would go bowling, Dad would leave the cars, the keys to the second car. It was a Dodge Monaco, by the way. At home while him and Mom were off in, you know, their car. Anyway, one day, while I was babysitting my siblings and my dad's bowling partner's siblings, I had this crazy idea, you know, hey, let's all go hop in the car and take a drive. And of course, they were all game, you know. I think at the time, see, I was 15. So baby sis would be 15 minus 7. She'd been 8 about that time. And I think the other kids were like 7 and 5, something like that. So anyway, I decided to drive to that convenience store. Now keep this in mind, you know, this is like, we didn't have any guard lights, so everything's pretty dark. But I'd take a drive to the convenience store and turn around, come back, and come home. That was all I was going to do. But there was this row of mailboxes that had a 2x4 sticking out of it, and I couldn't see it because it was dark. So when I made that turn, that 2x4 came through the window and broke the window, and I'm like, whoa, my God, I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm busted. What am I gonna do? So I drive home. And I'm sitting here, oh my God, what am I, I'm just sitting here freaking out, you know, what am I gonna do? And I'm like telling my siblings and everybody in the car, I'm like, don't say a word. Don't say a word, just let me deal with this. So I got home. By the time I got home, I had a plan. They had some broken up cinder blocks in the backyard, and we were having issues with some neighborhood boys at that time. And I'm like, neighborhood boys, cinder blocks, busted window, plan. So I go out back, and there's still some glass out of that busted window in the door. You know, and I'm thinking ahead, I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking ahead, I'm like, okay, they're going to call the cops, so what would the cops look at, you know? And so I go get a broken piece of a cinder block, and I bring it around to the car, and where some of the window that's broken is, I take and I grind some glass in the cinder block, and I just kind of throw it a foot away from the car. And I called Dad. I'm like, Dad, man, something happened. And they go, what are you talking about? I said, man, we were all sitting here in the house, and I heard this loud noise, and I run outside, and somebody broke the window on the car. He goes, what? I'm like, yeah. So him and his cop buddy come to the house. Now, me being naive, but, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, to make this work, the cops are probably going to pick up the cinder block and look for glass. And I already know they can't get fingerprints off of the cinder block. I mean, not in 1976 or 77, rather. But anyway, you know, and I'd already been fighting, not really fighting, but having issues with some neighborhood boys around there, so I blamed it on them. I said, yeah, I saw him take off running down the road after I come out. And so Dad filed a police report, the insurance paid for it, and everything was good, man. I was in the clear. Until a year later, when me and baby sis got into an argument, and she goes, well, I want to tell Dad about that. And she did. And she did. But I didn't get in trouble for it. Dad was like, what? He's like, I went through all that and filed a false police report. I'm like, hey, Dad, it worked, didn't it? Ironically, when I was 15, Dad got me a job at the bowling alley in Lufkin. And so I started working there, saving me up money until I turned 16 in my 11th year of high school. And I believe by the end of September, because I got my license in August, just soon, the day of my birthday. That was way back in the day when you could go in there and take, at the DPS, and take the written test and the driver's test in the same day. I miss those days. But anyway, so I got me a car at the end of September. By this time I changed jobs. I went to work for a grocery store named Butcher Bros. And Fat Boy moved back from Biloxi. He'd been gone out of, his parents moved to Rainville, and then they moved to Biloxi roughly, I think, the latter half of 9th grade and 10th grade, and then he moved back in 11th grade. And so here I am. I'm working, still playing baseball. Dad and Mom are still coming to my games. And we get along. We have our issues. But we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But I mean, I'm still respecting him. I'm still, you know. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, at this point, I'm 16, I've got me a car, got me a job, got a little money in my pocket. I'm ready to get out of school, you know. So I can't wait to get out of the house. And I'm going to go ahead and, because there really wasn't much happening then, because Dad was working, Mom was working, and it was just pretty much life as usual, you know, up until I graduated. So I hit my senior year. Meet me this girl, which Mom didn't like at all. And at some time during my senior year, one of Mom's brothers moved down there. Actually, I think it was the second time they moved down. Well, yeah, moved down there. But I got to spend time with my cousins on Mom's side of the family. And there were a lot of memories there because me and my cousins had some wild times, let's just say. But during that time period, that senior year, my girlfriend's dad worked at a mechanic shop, and they also sold, you know, secondhand cars. And the long and short of it was, I got caught in the middle of, he was going to sell Dad a car, and Dad says, well, I'll test drive it on my insurance route. And Dad took it, you know, one day, and I knew about this. And so I go to school one day when Dad takes the car, and at the end of the day, I dropped my girlfriend off because Dad hadn't come home yet, and I go to work. And after I get off work, I come home, and, you know, I'm talking to my girlfriend, and because she lived like 2 doors down from me. She was basically a next door neighbor. And she's like, there was an issue between my dad and her dad about the car. One person thought and it all blew out of proportion. After that, I don't think my mom didn't care for her family after that. But that's all water under the bridge. This is like something I got caught in the middle of, and yeah, things happen. But anyway, 1979, 1980, last part of 1979, we went to go spend some time with an uncle of mine, Palestine, who has horses and a ranch. And I'll never forget that. Me and my cousin rode horses around and stuff like that, and we were doing things. We went hunting and all kinds of stuff because back in because they had like about 3 or 4 days off. And my cousin's sister, which is my other cousin, but she played the piano, so we all sat around and, you know, she played the piano while we sang all kinds of things. But that was last Christmas before I graduated in May of 1980. And whoa, the summer of 1980. Summer of 1980 and that 1972 Gran Torino, or was it 70? No, wait, 76. It was blue, but it was the same. It was the same make and year model as the Starsky and Hutch car. That a certain teacher of mine had, by the way. Her name was Miss Peavy. Alright, I'm going to stop here, and I'm not sure when the next installment will be. It's 12:30 right now. I think I might have a good hour left in me. Yeah, I graduated, and I graduated and decided to take a step in my father in my. I graduated, and about a year later, I decided to do something that my father did, and that will start out in the 1980s. All right. Be right back.